KBGA Missoula, you're listening to Missing 中国. Today we have two themes, two characters. One is 袄, meaning padded jacket for winter usually. And another one is 傲, which is usually used in translation of sound, such as Oriole, Obama, Austria, Augustine, stuff like that. So, Mr. C, can you relate the theme to any movies?
Well, I guess now that I've just changed my mind suddenly, and that's okay, because in the United States we have freedom. So I have the freedom to change my mind. Because you said Austria, it reminded me of when I visited Austria in 1985. I've been to Austria several times, but I was in Salzburg, Austria. Salzburg, of course, is where the majority of both the Sound of Music and Amadeus, the movie Amadeus. The bulk of those take place in Salzburg. I don't know how much of Amadeus does, but I know that Mozart spent some time in Salzburg. They have Mozart candies in Salzburg, in fact. They had candies with a little bit of rum in them or something like that. They're very delicious. I was in junior high, and I used to eat the heck out of those candies. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I mention all that because it's very curious, because I'm a movie person. Even when I go to Europe or other countries, I'm always curious about watching movies there. And in the 80s, usually the bulk of the movies that you would see around Europe were still American movies or English-speaking movies. In Salzburg, Austria, there was a movie theater that showed 3 movies every day, all day long. One was The Sound of Music, the next was Amadeus, and then for some reason the last one was Pink Floyd, The Wall, which is a movie that's a little bit about insanity, so that actually kind of goes with the padded coat idea, because when you say padded coat, I think of an insane asylum with padded walls and a coat that wraps your arms around your shoulders called a straitjacket. I know that's quite a stretch there. But somehow I've managed to tie Austria and padded coat together, so you're welcome.
Thank you. So I guess the 3 movies are Sound of Music.
Well, the 2 movies that have to do with Austria are Sound of Music and Amadeus.
Amadeus, and then what's the third
one?
Well,
in the third one at night, they showed Pink Floyd, The Wall, which is kind of a cult movie. It really has nothing to do with Austria. But like I said, the main character in that becomes so alienated from society, he goes insane. They're all 3 fantastic movies. I haven't seen Sound of Music since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid in the 1970s and the early 1980s, and I think this is still true, I just don't watch it anymore, but I think Sound of Music came on every Thanksgiving on network television. So that's when we'd watch it. It was like a 3-hour movie. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but because it was such a long movie, if I expressed interest, my mom would let me stay up and watch it. So I'd get to stay up late to watch that. And then Amadeus is a movie I actually saw in the theater. That won Best Picture the year that it came out. Amadeus, I've seen it a few times since then. It is a very entertaining movie. And also, for those of you who are politically inclined, I do believe that the very controversial character Tucker Carlson, and I do think he's a character, I don't really think he's a genuine person, but Tucker Carlson has a laugh. He has that laugh that he does. So when he thinks he's made a point or he's burned somebody, he always does that. He does that laugh, right? I think he stole that from Tom Hulce, the actor in Amadeus, the actor who plays Mozart. Mozart has that same laugh. So I think Tom Hulce should sue him for plagiarism.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for the recommendation. Hope everybody enjoyed the movies and the sound here.